What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here, part of One Mind Syndicate, talking about Warhammer 40K once again. In this one, I will be going over everybody's thoughts and opinions on the new 10th edition, because during this past week, we got the indexes for free, and finally we got the points for free as well, so we could finally get games of 10th edition going. And it's very interesting because 9th edition was kind of a revamp, continuing on the changes from 8th edition, which was a complete revolution from what we had in previous editions of Warhammer. And with this edition, they're doing that again. Things are getting much more simple and much more streamlined so that newer players can jump into Warhammer 40K and start playing games very, very quickly. One of the things that I noticed while looking through the indexes is that a lot of the toughness and a lot of the damage got reduced significantly. So units weren't doing as much damage and units are dying a lot quicker now. But seeing the points, things are vastly different than what I thought. So unfortunately, it seems that customization has been slashed in favor for simplicity. Now, of course, we only have one type of army per faction to play, which very much so makes things very cookie cutter. Like if you're playing Space Marines, there's one way to play Space Marines. If you're playing Tau, there's one way to play Tau. If you're playing Orcs, there's one way to play Orcs. We don't have the different types of factions that can, or detachments in these factions to give them a different type of feel. So with that being said, if you're going up against a Grey Knights player, you're pretty much going up against every Grey Knight player. Because right now, the only way to run Grey Knights is through a bunch of tactics that revolve around teleportation. Now, the way the opponent plays the army is going to differ slightly, but for the most part, you know what their game plan is. That pretty much goes for the entirety of the armies in 10th edition right now based on the indexes. And that also cuts the customization because squads now, like the point values, it's not per war gear and weapons, it's now just based on the entire squad. So for example, if you have a squad of guardsmen, you can give them any upgrades for free and it's still going to cost the same point value as any squad of guardsmen. So why not give them all these special weapons? Why not give them all the upgrades? Because you're already paying for them. So this takes away the customization for your armies, but it makes it a lot easier to get to know the rules, get to understand the flow of the game, and it makes it easier for new players who have never played Warhammer 40K. So unfortunately, we are cutting the customization a lot in favor of simplicity, and I don't know how I feel about that right now. Clearly it's good, but at the same time it has its negatives. But once the codices actually come out for each army, we will see more freedom in how to play these armies. Hopefully there'll be more ways to make the Grey Knights an actual psychic army instead of one that just teleports across the battlefield. That's not to say the teleportation is weak, it's actually really, really strong, but I wanted my Grey Knights to be psychic masters like they are in the lore. But that's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and see what you guys had to say about 10th edition. Knee3875 says, damn, all these armies are now costing less points, so now you have to buy even more stuff to get to that 2000 point level. This is kind of annoying. So yeah, one of the things that's pretty prevalent throughout the entirety of all the armies for 10th edition is that things got a lot cheaper. And that's because of the whole simplicity thing. Like now you can't take a squad of like 7 Marines. It's either a minimum squad of 5 or a maximum squad of 10. No in between. So that does take away some customization there, and it does take away how you want to play certain units, but at the same time it also kind of forces you to buy more models if you want to play these higher point games. So say you had a 3000 point army in 8th edition, In 9th edition, you could pretty much still play that army as a 3,000 point army, but now with 10th edition, that probably dropped by a lot. So now you have to get new units to bolster up your army if you want to keep playing at that power level. Josiah the Street Man says, they overshot the mark on simplification. It is absolutely a simplistic game now. Bring back PPM and fluid squad sizes. This is power level, but wearing the points skin suit. So yeah, this is the thing that I've seen a lot of people complain about, is that it's basically min, max, and it takes away the strategy and the personality of the armies and just makes it a dice rolling game. Now, I think they did this to kind of make every army seem almost at the same level, but when it comes to Warhammer 40K, equality doesn't always mean fun. Like, for the most part, you know that Space Marines are going to be the best army, regardless of what you bring to the table. They're the most well-rounded, they've got the most support, they got the most options, so if you're playing a Space Marine army, chances are you'll do really good regardless of what you're going up against. For the longest time, the Harlequins have been winning tournaments. They're really fast and agile, they can take objectives, they can reposition, and that has been helping them win tournaments. But we know now that this may not be the case in 10th edition. So with this oversimplification, we are having to rethink how we play our armies and relearn our own armies once again. Now that could be fun, it could be annoying. Like I said, 10th edition literally just started, and I've been heavily seeing more negative than positive coming out of all these wargamers. Jerzy Bezinski says, so basically 10 guardsmen with las guns is the exact same point value as 10 guardsmen with plasmas, las cannons, and upgrades. Yeah, pretty much. And when you say it this way, this does seem like a stupid idea. But at the same time, it's because, like, when you buy these armies, they do come with all the upgrades and stuff like that, and you do have extra bits and pieces from various kits. Now I feel like if you do have like 8 guardsmen and 3 of them have like a plasma, you might have to buy a whole new box to make sure that you're able to play that unit legally in games of 10th edition. And also, why not, like I said earlier, why not just upgrade them? Like, you're paying for it already. So I think this is where GW did kind of hiccup here, where the oversimplification bit them at the end instead of making things more fun and streamlined. But we'll just have to wait and see. We actually are going to be playing our first game of 10th edition tomorrow on Sunday, so I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah, I'm super excited to see how the game goes. I'm pretty sure there's other YouTube channels that have already gotten 10th edition games under their belt and can give you more information on this. But yeah, let me know your thoughts if you've already played the game of 10th edition with the indexes and the new point values, or will you be sitting out until the actual codices drop and we get to see how things actually rest in this turmoil? Because apparently the Death Watch already got FAQ'd. The new rules, the free rules that we got for the Death Watch actually had some really overpowered stuff for them, and GW had to already errata it and make it a little less powerful. So yeah, it's not looking too good, but I do applaud GW for giving us these rules, these point values for free, something that we know GW doesn't like to do. They will do anything and everything to get every dollar from your wallets, and it's nice to see this to be slightly different. But yeah, so that's all I got for today, guys. Just keeping the conversation going in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys there. It's been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation. I knew I never had that much to lose.